Why is it so hard to make yourself do things that are actually good for you? Why do we promise ourselves a fresh start on Monday, only to push it back again and again? Just this once, no big deal, and then once more. And then again. Day after day, year after year. And before you know it, you look back and realize, those just once mores have turned into an entire life. This is Olivia's story. She thought she had it under control. Turns out, she didn't. A long time ago, before every home had a computer and before mobile phones even existed, a girl named Olivia was born into a loving family. Her parents adored her, took care of her, and taught her all the important things: study well, be kind and polite, make friends, help others. And, of course, they told her to take care of her health, exercise in the mornings, spend time outside, and keep her room tidy. Olivia was a smart, well-behaved girl. She trusted her parents and knew they were right. She did well in school, had friends, but there was one subject she absolutely hated: gym class. Not because she was weak or sickly, but simply because she was bad at it. She couldn't do somersaults, couldn't climb the rope, and no matter how hard she tried to keep up in races, she was always the slowest. When the kids played tag, she was always the first one caught, and never managed to catch anyone else. While other kids happily ran, jumped, and played, Olivia would stand off to the side or sit quietly on the bench, dreading every minute of class. Maybe if she had just practiced more, kept trying those somersaults, kept pushing herself, things would have been different. But she didn't want to. She was a quiet girl who loved books, TV shows, movies, and daydreaming. She didn't do morning exercises either, no matter how much her parents encouraged her. Just a little longer, she'd say. I'll read one more chapter, watch one more movie, just one, and tomorrow I'll start for sure. But tomorrow would come, and of course, there would be another interesting movie to watch. Time passed. Olivia grew into a beautiful, slim young woman. Still slim. For now. Despite never being into sports, she was still healthy. It wasn't too late to finally sign up for a fitness class. But there was always something more important: studies. She had started university, friends, and, of course, a million little things to do. Like watching just one more movie or finishing just one more book. That's not to say she never tried. Every now and then, she'd get inspired, make a promise to herself, and actually go out for a morning run. Oh, how amazing those mornings were! The sun shining, the fresh breeze tickling her face, birds singing, and her body singing along with them. Every muscle stretching, her lungs filling with air, her feet springing off the ground with energy and joy. And she'd think, I'll do this every day. Every single day. She had lost so much time already, why hadn't she done this sooner? Running felt so good and so necessary for her. It wasn't too late. But after a week or two, the excitement faded. Running became boring. Dragging herself out of bed got harder. At first, she skipped just one day, no big deal. Then she ran every other day. Then every 3 days. Then, not at all. And her body curled back into its usual shape, hunched in a chair, muscles forgetting the wonderful feeling of movement and strength, back slouching over a desk, legs bent at the knees for hours, feet pressed heavily into the floor. What remained was the guilt. The frustration. The disappointment in herself. Why can't I just stick to it? Why do I always give up? She tried again. And again. Every few months, she'd make a new attempt, sometimes lasting a few weeks, sometimes, rarely, even a couple of months. But it always ended the same way. She'd quit. She'd return to her books and TV shows. She even signed up for fitness classes, yoga, aerobics, you name it. But that was even worse. She'd pay for a full year and go, maybe a few times. Then the money would just be wasted. The years passed. Olivia graduated, became a librarian. Well, of course, she loved books, got married, and had a wonderful daughter. Life was good. Everything was good. Except her health. It wasn't like she had done anything terrible. She never drank, never smoked, never touched drugs. But all those years of sitting, plus a love for sweets and unhealthy food, started to catch up with her. She knew she should eat better. She knew too much sugar was bad. She knew she should avoid greasy, salty, heavy foods. But she loved them. A perfect meal. Salty fish followed by a delicious cake. Salads with arugula, broccoli, and olive oil. Depressing. At first, her young body handled it. But slowly, things got worse. A little shortness of breath from climbing just 3 flights of stairs. Struggling to tie her shoes because of her stomach. And then, a new player entered her life. The computer. Oh, the games. Even as an adult, she was hooked. She could sit for hours, glued to the screen, completely forgetting about cooking, cleaning, or even moving. Until, finally, she'd stand up and feel the ache in her legs and back. That's when reality would hit. I have to stop. I have to get my life together. I have to take care of myself. And then, one day, she got really sick. Sick enough to end up in the hospital. The doctors ran tests and gave her a clear, undeniable warning: if you don't start taking care of yourself, you're going to regret it. Her heart wasn't doing so great. Neither was her stomach. She was scared. And this time for sure, she would change. No more running, her back and lungs wouldn't allow it, but she'd take up swimming. Power walking. Morning stretches. She'd lose 10 pounds. Maybe even more. She even made a plan, wrote it all down in a notebook, following advice from the internet. A strict schedule for the next 6 months. But why did it have to come to this? Why couldn't she have done it sooner? Would she even have the motivation to keep going? Would she quit again in a few months, just like always? No. Not this time. This time would be different. It wasn't too late. Was it?